Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, we're episode 284 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's in an Exo Suit with me tonight?
Guess it's me, Space Milk Cutie, back again. It's been a minute. Whippy! I am shooting these zombies alone in the dark, but I'm here.
I don't remember any zombies in my game. What are you talking about?
I think it should either. Trust me, I'm a bitch about that too. And I am Joe Butler, and my robot arm has been calculated too well, if you catch my meaning.
So, Joe, this was your pick, actually, back when we did the Call of Duty's Modern Warfare trilogy. I want to let you guys decide what we should do next, and it took me months to get around to this. But we're here to talk about Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, developed by Sledgehammer Games, published Activision, and came out in 2014. It's longer ago than I thought it was.
Yes.
A 10-year-old game.
I decided, I'm assuming people will be like, oh, they should have done Black Ops yet. I wanted to get at least one of the standalone ones away. Because hopefully, before we do Black Ops, if we do Black Ops, it's up to Mike. Mike's the owner of the podcast. I want to do the other one that's also really good. There's another one where like your partner's a robot or something, and I hear people say that one's really good.
Mm-hmm. Infinite Warfare?
Yeah.
Probably?
Yeah. It's Infinite Warfare.
Because I keep looking one up, and then it's like, no, it's the other one. I'm like, God damn it. Infinite.
Because it's... Besides Black Ops, you had Ghost, which nobody talks about. You have Infinite Warfare, which is the other one that a lot of people like because it takes place in the future. And then you have World War II, you have Vanguard, which I have no idea what that is. And then you just have more Modern Warfare remakes and Black Ops stuff. So
yeah, Infinite Warfare is like in space.
Yeah, I played it once. I liked it. So, we'll see.
I love these fucking Call of Duties after sort of Black Ops where they're like, shit, all right, let's get real weird with the plot. It's like, it feels like half of it's serious and half it's like, we just need to put something in this campaign. Because again, most people are like, oh, I love Call of Duty, that multiplayer slap. And it's like, hey, guess what, motherfucker? There's no one playing this game on Steam right now. I tried. I downloaded the whole multiplayer. I looked through every playlist and it was 0 players. And I was like, wow, this is bummer town.
Because people move on to the next Call of Duty, essentially.
Yeah,
I mean, and there's been at least, well, I wouldn't be surprised if there have been 10 of them since this came out.
Yeah, I get it. But I was disheartened because this has been one of my favorite Call of Duty experiences I've ever had for this podcast and outside of this podcast. And I was like, oh boy, I can't wait to feel this movement. Oh, no one's around. And I was ready to just get like destroyed by like the 12 people who were still playing.
I would have played zombies with you on Steam.
Yeah, it was after you'd said you didn't download it because it was huge. And I was like, okay. And I finally did because I didn't realize I was going to get it on Steam. So I was like, I don't want to have Mike be like, re-download it. Get those 50 gigs or whatever it is.
Yeah, would have been fine as long as I didn't have other games on, which I don't normally. But yeah, no, that's what turned me off of the zombies. I wanted to try zombies single player because I know there's a whole campaign to zombies. I found out today when I watched a YouTube video. Mm-hmm. And it sounds cool, but I'm like, I didn't want to download the multiplayer stuff. I'm like, I don't care enough. It should just be single player. I get it.
We can also definitely talk about that because this is like right around the time, I think, when, as they were bringing these to PC, they were like, oh, we got zombies, we got campaign, we got multiplayer. And the fucking way back then, and even today, that they organize how to boot into any of those is stupid as hell. On Xbox, it's just like, I think they are different games, but on PC, it's like, oh, are you in the campaign menu? Do you want to go play multiplayer? We will automatically close your game, open up the other game for you in Steam. And I was like, this sucks. This sucks so much.
Oh, you guys were able to play multiplayer? I'm sorry. Sony game console told me to fuck off because this is from the day and age to where they go like Batman and other games, Dead Space, where everyone was the whole thing where it's like, oh, if you buy the game new, there's a code inside to play multiplayer. Because whenever I try to boot up zombies, it goes, oh, you bought this game used? Oh, you have to buy the season pass to play zombies.
Oh, it's from that time?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, fuck you, EA Activision. I ain't paying $60 to play your fucking zombie campaign. I guess I'm done playing this. It's going back to GameStop. Eat my ass.
And they did, in fact, not eat his ass.
I am glad there's like these little attempts. Like I remember they did stuff where I think Xbox did too. It's like, oh hey, we want to get in on this used market because we aren't making any money there. Hey, let's just fuck people over and like do these weird systems to make it so they have to pay us if they want stuff. And it never really took off to my knowledge in any big way.
It was a thing.
It was a thing, but I don't think it is as much today. She said hopefully. Milk said hopefully.
I think it's still very much a thing. Well, no, maybe no. I don't think maybe not anymore because the used market's pretty much gone at this point. So yeah, no, it's not really a thing anymore. But no, it was a big thing in the 360 era, and then you had the Game Pass. Like all these games would have like little codes. I didn't realize this was one of them. I also bought this used too. No, I bought this. Never mind. I bought this new. I bought it for $10 for PS3 in a Walmart clearance bin years later, and that's when I first played it. And I played through the campaign. I had fun. I put the game away, and I forgot it existed until Joe said, "Hey, we should do this." And I was like, "All right." And here we are.
I never played it, so I did. I'm trying to remember where I fell off, and I think it was right around Black Ops 1. I think that's when I really stopped playing them pretty consistently. And I don't think I even picked up any of the later ones, even though they did kind of interest me to see like them doing weird stuff. Because I always love Call of Duty when it's doing weird stuff, i.e. modern day Call of Duty. The most recent DLC I saw for multiplayer cosmetics was just fucking Gundams. And I was like, oh, yes, I want to be a Gundam. And I don't have it downloaded because giant games, tiny hard drive, but I would 100% want Gundam.
No, it's hard with. I mean, I'm not a big Call of Duty fan, and that has because where this conversation is going to go for me. I need to state that, like, I like first-person shooters, but I don't know if I wasn't in the right mood for this game or not, because I didn't really have a great time with this game. I mean, it was fine. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't, like, amazing or anything to me, but I think this wasn't what I wanted.
I don't know.
This week.
Maybe Joe could help kind of answer that, because at least as a person who enjoyed it pretty heavily, I don't know what type of mood you'd have to be to enjoy it. It's a weird game in terms of Call of Duty stuff, and I, again, loved it for that, but
I love really schlocky stuff, so like the really bullshit heavy action kind of thing really gets me in the mood. It also doesn't help. I channel my inner young Joe, and I go, man, there's got to be a way to play this. And then my weed pen goes, smoke me, and I go, that's a good idea.
There's something about it.
I love that. My weed pen goes, smoke me.
In that back then, everyone, like, so many people were high while they're playing. Like, oh, I get to be transported back to 2014, be a little stoned while playing Call of Duty.
That's probably a very, very fair statement that I unfortunately cannot relate to, but
please remind me that for the next Call of Duty so I can have that experience, because I did not do that.
I mean, that might be the way to play it. I mean, I don't have a problem getting high. Like, I have edibles. I won't smoke because I just don't like smoking, but I have no problem. Edible. I don't know. I mean, the game wasn't bad. Like, I guess I didn't relate enough with like what the story was, because I just played these for the stories. No, I think one of my issues was I don't really care for the Exo Suits other than being able to jump high, and for a good chunk of the game I wasn't able to, so I was irritated. I think. I don't really know. I just wasn't, like, I was a little bummed that this game didn't grab me as much as I was hoping it would.
What about all the other mechanics kind of with the Exo Suit? Like, there's like the smart grenades, there's like a ground pound, all that stuff. How does
I used the smart grenade, but I didn't use anything else. I also didn't like smart grenades. I had to cycle through. I'm holding my grenade. I didn't like that.
That was stupid. Yes, I agree with that.
Okay.
I kind of liked it. Only because, God, this is going to be weird. I don't know. Just like, it was annoying, but it was so much nicer to have the option in the moment. Like, I don't think the EMP one was, like, that one felt a little tacked on, but the fucking...
It was tacked on.
Holy hell, if every Call of Duty just had a fucking wall hack grenade for the campaign that I could use throughout the entire thing. I played most of this on Veteran, and I had such a nice time. At some point, I did turn it down, because I did have one mission I had to restart about halfway through. It was, like, the fourth mission when you're raiding the nuclear plant that's going down.
Okay.
Yeah, like, halfway through that, one of the main story NPCs was stuck. He just wasn't moving forward. He was just constantly taking cover, and I did like a whole search. There was no bad guys around. He just wasn't going to the elevator, and so I was like, okay, let me reload checkpoint, and he would not move. I kept like shooting at him, throwing grenades at him. He just wouldn't move, and he just kept going back to the same spot. So I did have to restart that mission. It was like, do you want to lower the difficulty? And I did. And I do think this Call of Duty benefits more from being not on Veteran, because Veteran still has the very much like, oh, 2 bullets, look around the corner at the wrong time and you're dead. And this game, I think, wants you to feel a little more like OP, basically, with all the power-ups and a Veteran, I would never did the ground smash, but on like regular or hardened, yeah, I did it like once or twice and it felt kind of cool, you know?
Okay.
So yeah, Veteran was interesting because I've always played these on Veteran when we do them, or at least a lot.
This game has my favorite thing of all time, which I swear people bitch about it, but I think it should come back in a very hard way. I love QuickTime events. That whole
that's hot. That's spicy.
I do, but not in this game because it's always F or E. Like I just didn't. I played this on PC, but I just didn't like it. That it irritated me on here, but I do like QuickTime events normally.
Hey! Let's just take a moment. Let's get out of the room. First, I have to pay respect to everybody. That was this. Let's give it a round of applause here. Oh, I'm so glad I got to experience it live. It's so different. It hits different. Like, there it is.
When I saw that, it made me laugh because I know all the how that became a huge internet meme.
God, yeah, I miss E3 so much. Like that was such a good time of just having shit play live, and people were like, "What'd you think of that?" And people either being like, "That was the coolest thing ever," or, "Dog, you really fucking." I don't know. The price range probably changed, but people were making fun of that during the summer Game Fest, where it's like, you paid how much money to play this trailer, and it was dog shit. Fuck you.
Because I feel like the press have to pay respects, and how it's responded is kind of the highlight of. So Modern Warfare 2, the original. I hate that I have to say that. That feels gross. 2009. Call of Duty Black Ops 2010. Modern Warfare 3 2011. Black Ops 2. Ghost was 2013. Advanced Warfare, it's right around when I think, like, Black Ops wanted to tell a story. I don't know if you guys might, it's like edgy. It's like dramatic and edgy. But I think by about this time, they wanted to tell stories that were dramatic but not as edgy. They're still edgy, but it definitely feels toned down and less over the top. And what you get left with is, like, this game that it's like, oh man, we need to have a moment where that dude you just met died and it's really sad. And then I instantly pressed F to pay respects and started walking around. I took like 40 screenshots. It was just like me hitting F12, like bloop, 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 just like remembering the moment. And then I walked around and looked at everybody. Everybody in that scene looked goofy as hell. And I think I get why, especially the Call of Duty community circa 2014 was like, this is so fucking dumb, man. Who even plays these campaigns? Oh, I love this campaign so much. The upgrades, Intel, so... Oh, did you?
I'm glad you guys did. I think one of my issues, and this is probably a me issue again, is I didn't like that there's 3 different villains throughout this campaign. First, for the first mission, you fight the North Koreans, and then that's forgotten about and never happens again. And then you fight the Hades terrorist group, and then you fight Atlas.
That kind of starts happening, though. Modern Warfare 2 has that.
It does.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 2, you're by the end, you it's the last mission or two, but it suddenly is like, oh no, our own general and our army is.
Oh yeah, okay. It's the Russians, and then it's your army.
Yeah,
but it's only 2. It's the fact that North Korea starts this bothers me. Again, this is a me problem. Like, this is stupid, but it bothered me that you fight North Korea and then they're just forgotten about the rest of the series, the rest of this game, because it's all that kind of irritated me. Like, I get what they're going for, but I feel like it should have been them fighting the terrorist group, but then you end up working for Atlas and fight the terrorist group. I don't know.
I feel like it's just a prologue, which I think.
I know. I'm just being
wacky with it.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted it to have more. Like, I wanted to fight more North Korea, because I felt like that. I wanted that story versus what I got.
As much as that is very much a thing North Korea would do. So I think they have done before.
They have not invaded Seoul, but they not since the Korean War, but they sure as hell want to. But North Korea can't. North Korea, if they did go to war, I mean, essentially it'd be nuclear warfare, so that'd be a whole other issue. But they have an army and they have stuff, but even then they are a small country. Especially if China didn't back them up, they would be outmaneuvered by the larger powers pretty quickly.
Especially modern day, we're looking at that. And the question, I don't know if it answers, and I remember it says in the campaign. What year do you guys think this takes place?
They do say the year.
I remember what year it is. It's like 2060, right?
2054. And yeah, I think that's a big part. Is like North Korea would have to have a lot of things get together in the next 30 years. But I think it's kind of funny because that is it's like, hey, listen. All that regular military shit, we ain't doing that anymore. We're above that shit. We're Atlas. And I was like, okay, all right, sure, Atlas. And then they have their fucking one of their many campuses where like, yeah, we can run the whole planet if we wanted to. And I was like, this is a lot. You guys are giving me the weirdos, and I don't know if I want to be here, but I am.
It's less Metal Gear of like, when I was playing this, I was thinking Metal Gear. I'm like, yes, PMCs, private military contracts. This is no Outer Haven, but man, these dudes sure do sniff their own fucking farts.
Yeah.
Especially when the second mission is pretending to save the president because the president would hire you to save him.
Yeah, wow, I didn't even I had a minor thought of that and then kept going. But yeah, it's very funny to be like, I thought my head was like, oh, maybe this was like a mission they did. And I was like, no, that's way too much credit. It's 100% more of that. He gives such Kevin Spacey, the actor who plays the character, I don't even remember his fucking name. He's just Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey sucks ass. We can talk about that if we want. But more importantly,
not yet.
The first missions where he's around, he gives me the most fucking Elon Musk if dude was way too into military vibes. And that was what I got the whole time. Like, I'm really important and cool, and I'm super involved in this stuff. I'm like, I don't think you know half of what's going on around here, but you're just the face and you want to be cool. And so you're like, rah, I'm Kevin Spacey.
Look, if it was Elon Musk, then the company Atlas you work for would have half rundown doors, people would be all fired, it would be a shitty run place, and he'd be like, you know what? I'm the best. Why don't you guys just give me all the money we could use towards our company? Give it to me instead, because I just deserve it, because I'm the CEO.
The hangar door would open, and it would just be like cardboard cutouts. It'd be worse than the military training camp. You're like, oh no, what do I sign up for?
I gotta tell this story. It's not related to the game, but since you brought it up and reminded me, I did see my first Tesla truck in the wild, and the first thing I did was start laughing in my car and pointed and laughed. And that thing is so fucking ugly. And I told my wife, like, here, take pictures. I have to make sure this moment is remembered on Facebook because it's fucking hilarious. And then I looked up that somebody paid $70,000 to $100,000 for that vehicle.
That's probably like the base price. Also, without any like fun add-ons that you can get.
$70,000 is the base price, up to $100K. That's what Google said. But even then, it's like that is fucking like it's not a truck. It's a car.
It's a car. It's a very
100% a car. Like, why are you spending 70 to 100? And you know that wasn't 70 grand. Like, you know he spent. Like, why?
And as I told you, like, because I commented on it too, I don't know how people even still have those trucks. Tesla already said you can bring them back and get a refund. And besides the fact that they announced that, I saw like on Twitter, some guy was completely bitching out his like insurance company because his insurance company is like, yeah, after like the summer, we're not insuring your fucking Tesla truck. And he literally is like, why not? It's like, because they're being recalled. We can't, we can't insurance them.
Sniffs, farts harder. Why would you do that? It's my fucking Tesla. Oh, it's so good.
I was just waiting. I was surprised there was no "I love Elon Musk" bumper sticker on the car, like in the truck, like there should have been. I guess the truck itself was an "I love Elon Musk" sticker, but hey,
that's actually a several $1,000 add-on. They probably that's probably one they just didn't get.
Just engrave it in your back of your truck. Elon Musk is the best. He's going to become president. Yeah, so.
Oh, don't say that. That's the last person I'd want to vote for because he's at least.
He wouldn't get the same votes as a reality TV star, per se.
Yeah. We say these things, but anyway, listen, let's go back to a fictional universe where I don't have to contemplate the horrors of the reality. I'm going to cook here. I was scrolling through. This is the first Sledgehammer Games, which I thought Treyarch got turned into Sledgehammer Games, but I don't know exactly how that worked. Regardless, Treyarch and Sledgehammer Games, as far as I'm concerned, can do no wrong. I'm trying to find an example of one that I really hated, and I guess Treyarch just kept making Black Ops, is what it looks like.
They did a lot of Black Ops.
But man, whenever it's not Infinity Ward at the helm, which I don't think it is anymore, I think at this point they basically combined them all into one. They did Vanguard too. I have so much more interest in whatever they're cooking because I feel like again they want to get a little weird with it, and meanwhile Infinity Ward's like we gotta stay the most safe and simple we can.
I have one regret. You say that, but you're wrong. I have one regret. I should have sent y'all the picture, and I completely forgot to. They're bringing Soap back, and he's like wearing like a weird like mech like armor, and he's got like a face mask that puts gas in his body or some shit. And it's like, wow, they really are reaching the bottom of the barrel. And I'm like, this can't get any worse. And they're like, what's the next one? Is it Black Ops 6? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh, this can't get any worse. And then people are like, Black Ops 6 might cover 9/11. I'm like, oh my fucking god, that's hilarious.
Okay, that's gonna be interesting.
Listen, is it gonna be good? Probably not. If they did it, would I be interested? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Infinity War is just like we're fighting. I don't know. It gets stale. But I think other studios are like, we gotta do something weird. And apparently weird is 9/11, and oh boy.
I wouldn't say it's weird, I'd say it's more controversial, but controversial does get clicks, so...
I don't listen, I'm not...
Are they going to put all the Call of Duties on Game Pass? Possibly.
That I am excited for.
If they put the old ones on, I will be excited, because this was Here's my other complaint with this game is that I had to pay $20 for this on PC, and I should not be paying $20 for this on sale in the year 2024.
That's just them forever. I don't think it's.
I know. I mean, the cheapest is like World of War is 15 on sale, and I'm just like, they should all just like. It's like you need to stop trying to sell these for full price. Like I get it, but stop.
That sale Call of Duty bundle on sale, I think was still like $600.
God damn.
Man, I need to play through all these Call of Duties. Let me just drop.
Because they're such big sellers for people. People love Call of Duty games, and like that is just I mean it has its market. It's not like this game is not bad at all. Like I mean I thought maybe people didn't like this one, but I think I'm confusing it with people don't like Ghosts. Because Ghost is just stupid. I did like Ghost when I played it. But I think it's just time and place. Like, for me, I didn't really like all the futuristic stuff, even though I should. I mean, it's very cool. They went for something unique, but I don't know if I just wasn't... I don't know what it was. Like, this game didn't feel good to me playing it, and I wasn't super interested in the story. Unfortunately, I knew the twist, because I had vaguely remembered that Kevin Spacey's a villain, but I also got to say, Kevin Spacey makes a great villain, because he's a villain in real life, so he makes a great video game villain, too.
Yeah, maybe we should attack it one piece at a time. I think maybe
we are.
Okay, multiplayer, dead. Nothing said because can't experience it. Never got to. Zombies. So I did play Zombies, and it was some of the most fun I've had with Zombies since the original. And I even recently was told that Halo Infinite. I almost said Halo Infinity. Halo Infinite recently added someone made like a official Zombies mode because with their creative system they added their like Forge Infinite basically. You can make anything, and they've made a playlist you can do, and it's basically like a modern day Zombies with I slowly walk in, you start with lower guns, you unlock area, and so in the most I think modern day accessible Zombies, and some of my favorite, this is still really good Zombies. There's something about the mobility that they give you and the other Zombies in the one mission I was able to play by myself solo. I was like, I can just imagine getting really into this. When the trailer, because basically, as Mike said earlier, it's supposed to be more story based because that's about the time they started cooking this. I was like, oh, let's just really get story heavy. And the initial trailer was really cool. It introduces the 4 characters, and they're all pretty simple in the trailer, but it really gives you have the basically grizzled veteran of Atlas who is the I fucking hate this company guy, which I loved at first because I was like, oh, that's great. It's like the end, a ship crashes trying to pick up. He goes, I fucking hate Atlas. And I was like, I do like this. Very much working retail vibes for too long. I feel it. And I loved it. Then they had, as far as I saw, because I never even got to play her in the game, I never rolled around to her because you only get to pick the character, I think, it just boots up, was just Smart Science Lady. And I was like, okay, sure. That was very flat. And I was like, I'm not shocked that I'm not seeing more. Maybe there's more later, but I doubt it. They had new lower rank security guard guy who's gives very official vibes. Like, let's get him out of here. Playing him was really annoying because he wouldn't stop yelling at me. Like, I'm reloading, cover me. And I'm like, okay, let's calm down. And then, who's the 4th guy? I can't even remember. I don't think, but the trailer made them all seem really cool. And they highlighted these singular elements about all of them. I was like, okay, I'm kind of interested. And then first mission, I'm playing the grizzled veteran guy. Every fucking other line, he's like, I fucking hate Atlas. And I was like, okay, we had something here, and now I've realized this is all we got. And so I'm a little sad. And I'm very curious. I would love to watch just a movie of the story and see what it was like. I didn't get there, but it was a lot of fun.
I saw in the one video I watched is that you go to 4 different maps and it ends in an underwater rich man sweet place, and you find out that Atlas, you fight Atlas security, you fight mechs. There's actually a boss at the end of zombie mode.
Yeah, they started doing that a little bit more. But yeah, okay. The first one is, it's because basically they're at an Atlas facility, and then it's Atlas dropped the bomb and they made zombies, and of course they brought them back, and now they've broken out and we're the last 4 alive. And then every time you die in the zombies, because of course I didn't get very far in whatever actual story there is for that mission, it would go to a sky view and it'd be like, how'd they do? They didn't make it very far. Let's bring the bodies back for research. And I was like, it had me enough interested. I'm interested in the plot. I feel like the characters could be have more cooking here. But I think, especially coming off of the plot they were making for the previous Call of Duty, they still didn't have an idea of how to do characters in that space. Because back then it was just the American, the German, the Japanese guy, and the Russian, and that's who they are. That's all we need. But yeah, I did like Zombies. I would have loved to experience this in the heyday and have felt it, because it's so nice to be jumping around zombies
Was it
it has
the celebrities? Because in the zombie, like when this game released, it was Bruce Campbell, Rose McGowan from Charmed. I know she other stuff, but
so the janitor Oz is voiced by John Malkovich. The IT specialist was the scientist is Rose McGowan.
okay.
And Decker, the security guard, is John Berthal, and the executive is Bill Paxton.
Oh,
And then the captain they get saved by is Bruce Campbell.
but is that still in the game or is that taken out?
No, you have to buy it. Like so, like I had to buy
It's
it
a
to
season
play it.
pass type
Yes,
thing.
yes. There's
That's-
one mission you get to play, and that was the one mission I played. And again, I didn't even get very far in it. But yeah,
I
it's definitely
think the version I had has the DLC. Maybe not. I didn't look into it because I didn't care.
I think the season pass plus on that sale was like $10 more, so you might have bought it.
No, I didn't. I mean, if it didn't come with the game itself, I didn't buy it because
Yeah.
I knew I didn't care. So,
But yeah, I liked what they did with the zombies, and I would have really enjoyed it if I had the ability to like have like a 4-stack and really going at it. I think there's like parts I like and parts that I like a little bit that I have a feeling don't pan out super well. And that's the zombies. So now it's all campaign, baby. Woo!
well, the zombies I did want to try. The only zombies I should put this out just for context. The only zombies that I ever actually played was World at War
Yeah,
with friends.
yeah.
Because by the time that the other Call of Duties came out, I wasn't playing online games, and by the time I wasn't talking to those friends anymore. So by the time I finally got back into it, they were playing Dead by Daylight on PS4, and didn't. I mean, I would have rather played zombies.
Black Ops 2 had zombies.
Zombies was around a lot, I think, right? Like it became a
Yeah.
thing.
It's definitely like this is the earlier part. I'm trying to remember. There was another one I played that had it, and I just didn't like that zombies as much as like this one. I don't know. This one felt more focused, but yeah, especially as they kept going, because they basically kept having to get more and more. Where they were like, oh well, now people are still liking it enough. Let's just make the environment bigger. Let's make like bosses at zombies like waves, you know. And
I was a little bummed that I couldn't try it without downloading multiplayer. I mean, I get it, but I was just like, I already have the game installed. I don't want to play. I just like, I felt like it should just be available for me, but whatever.
So as of right now, the Xbox showcase is going to start in the next 10 minutes. So during our podcast, they might reveal that Call of Duty takes place in 9/11 because that's apparently the one thing that they're going to showcase today, apparently.
Well, apparently, I mean, I was looking up.
We can bring it to you live a week later.
I was looking up on Steam page because I was looking at all the Call of Duties. They have a trailer and like pictures that looks like, I don't know, it looks more like 80s stuff, and maybe they get to like 2000s. I wouldn't be shocked, but woof, I can't wait to find out. That will, oh god. Anyway, this Call of Duty story. Oh, it's not much better.
I mean,
I had fun with it.
I had fun with it too, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like, it's a cinematic story masterpiece. The writing was brilliant. It's like, this is some goofy shit.
And that's what I'm all for. I love goofy shit. Like you're telling me that like the beginning's pretty interesting. And I always love the moment because it goes back and forth. Where in the beginning of the game, you're like, oh, we got to go in there and do this and seal. And then you see Atlas and they're like, who the fuck are you guys? And they're like, don't worry about it. We're here to do things we're paid to do. See you later, fuckers.
And then his illusion is like, isn't that your dad's cookies? He's like, yeah, but I didn't want to work for my dad. I was like, it's so goofy. I was like, oh. Man. And these two dudes are so gay in my head, it's not even funny.
Oh, I have someone to mail Activision a thank you card. Like, at least, I will at least give, for the most part, both your main character, Mitchell, and Gideon, unbearably hot. I don't know why. Gideon has, like, frosted tips. It's so fucking weird, but it's like, wow, both these guys are fucking attractive.
They were cooking with this one where I think this, again, one of the first Call of Duties where they're like, oh, we're going to have cutscenes. It's not just first person. It's going to be fucking a cutscene, and there's going to be cameras. And I was like, well, I'm getting to see my protagonist a lot. And like, damn, they really cooked here.
Like, the guy you play as is Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course it's Troy.
Knox, the guy that helps you in the American route, is fucking Cyborg from Teen Titans and every other thing now.
Oh, god damn it. Fuck.
Oh.
Damn it.
Yeah, they paid tons of money for... and of course, Kevin Spacey is the main villain. Like, they paid big money for this game.
Because this was during some of his, like, big time, too, because this would have been during House of Cards was still running. Like, that's one of the things, like, in House of Cards, his character, Frank Underhill, is playing a Call of Duty. So, like, there was a big get to get him, and he had not come out yet as a villain. So,
2013 to
Makes
2018, it was just near the start of House of Cards. So, like, it's still popping. But, yeah. Oh, fuck. But, yeah, the first mission is very much just, like, I honestly hated it. It was, like, I don't know, there was a good job about something like how it was compressed and so militaristic formula, like, running operation, that by the time they were like, oh, there goes your arm. Spoiler, it ends. Your boyfriend dies, you can lose an arm. And they're like,
Your
we gotta
boyfriend
discharge you.
dies. No
Your
one is
boy-
allowed to convince me those dudes were not lovers at any point.
At least in the classic old style military version, like, listen, you just do things at war. You don't talk about it. It's like, no, it's okay, baby. You could be gay or bi, whatever. It's
2056.
It's 2056. Me, it's cool. But yeah, you get to the end mission. Your arm gets chopped off. Ship blows up. Boyfriend dies. And then fucking mission quote. Mission 2, press F to pay respects. No other Call of Duty makes you pay respects to your gay boyfriend. Like, come on, this game is cooking. And then, his dad walks up and he's like, listen, son, I know you've been discharged. I'm Kevin Spacey, but, like, what if you weren't discharged? And then you're like, oh, shit, back at it again. And then you're with the company Atlas and you get a cool robot arm. And then that's where the game kicks off.
I don't like working for Atlas. I liked it. I mean, I unfortunately knew the twist.
Mike, that's gross. Sorry.
I thought the missions were kind of good, and like the way that the story unfolds, like when you like after because you're hunting Hades, like I thought some of that stuff was pretty good. I like going after Hades more than I like going after Atlas because it's like, is it the company really that bad, or just the person in charge a fucking piece of shit? Like
Person in charge is a complete fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, and that was part of like these guys aren't, one, they don't even know that. I mean, he didn't set off the bomb. He just knew about it and didn't stop it. So yes, but it's I mean, it's just like every other dictator, like what they've done in real life. So, I mean, that's kind of what they were buying off of, the fact that like there are tons of people where have taken power and where they have something tragic happen and they use that to take power. I mean, the burning of the Reichstag in Germany for Hitler, for example. Like you have, you need like an event to become a dictator.
Look, if I was working for a company and I went, man, my boss is getting really racist, and then one day I'm locked in the building and he goes, if any of you quit, I release this. If any of you quit, I'm releasing this gas, and it turns off the chip in the back of your head, so when that gas is released, you won't die. I'll be like, yeah, I'll stick around for another couple months. I don't feel like
I've had less of a reason to stick around in shitty jobs. And trust me, I'm not like not planning to get out. It's just like, oh, okay, I'll wait a few more months till this kind of blows over,
But they didn't know about that, I'm assuming.
No, they don't really talk about it. That was the thing, is I kind of thought, I wasn't sure the teammates you're given, because basically after you get moved out of the military and you start like Atlas training immediately, there's like, 3 dudes? They're like, all right, you're going to run with these dudes. This is your squad. You're the cool, super cool Atlas dudes. Like, I guess there's a bunch of them, but you guys are the cool ones that we don't care about the other ones. And they were all kind of assholes. Like, they were fine, but they gave me just the slightest undercut of like dick vibes. And I'm like, I don't know about this. And yeah.
You're really only introduced to Gideon. Like, they don't even talk about the other guys or have anything to do but Gideon.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. I just wrote something that was bullshit. Yeah. But go ahead.
I was just to say, Kevin Spacey even comes into your room and has drinks with you while you all like circle jerk on the video that you just made about you jumping from car to car.
Yes, and they were like, "Oh, just see how you chuck that guy into a fucking side thing." I'm like, "Oh boy, A, they're assholes. B, the horrors of war does fucked up shit to the psyche. Where you're like, how do I cope with this? Ha 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 ha! Whoa, dude, that was cool. Ha ha."
I think that's real. I really do.
That's real.
Oh yeah, no, I think that. But I'm wondering, like, which one of these are we really writing here right now? Regardless, yuck. For different reasons. But I do like this. Like, yeah, it's those 3 dudes. It is 3 because I remember that scene. And then Elon Musk comes in. Elon Spacey comes in. And then the next mission was the one where I watched one of those dudes at the end of the mission, which is the nuclear power plant, go to open a door and it blew up in his face. Like, not just like, oh, the grenade blew up next to him mid-thing and he gets up. It was like, no, that door blew up in his face. Holy shit, is he dead? No, but he is limping. And I was like, motherfucker, what? We've never done this before, where you're like, so like, I don't worry about it. He's fired. I'm like, damn, these exosuits are really popping off, I guess. Jesus Christ.
Oh, you reminded me what my issue with this game was.
What?
People didn't die fast enough when I shot them. That was my big issue. Because like in most Call of Duties, you're usually very, like, if you get a good shot, they're done because that's the idea of the game. You die quickly, they die quickly. But in this game, since they're wearing heavier armor, they're wearing exosuits, especially later in the game, there were a lot of enemies where I would hit them, like I would get good shots, and they just wouldn't go down. I'm like, this is annoying. Like I'm on recruit. Like you're supposed to just die. Like don't.
Welcome to Halo Light, brother. You're here.
And that was the thing, and that's what I even said to myself. I remember thinking to myself, like, I'm not playing Halo.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Mike. I was having the best time of my life. I was also playing on recruit. I love playing these games on easy because they die as fast as they need to.
No, I'm happy. I'm glad that you guys had a good time. I'm glad that people like it. I think I just wasn't.
I don't think people did. I mean,
I liked it. Were positive to my negative. So
let me. I don't think the Call of Duty community that existed in 2014 liked this game. I think the story was shit on. I think zombies were an afterthought like usual. And I don't think this is the part that really matters to them, that multiplayer was really well loved. Even though, like, because I think basically, I don't even think Ghosts, which is also kind of technically, it has like drones and stuff, had this much movement. And I think this was one of the first games that are like adding the boosters. And it is very Halo, because Halo 4 kind of had some of these boost elements that they started adding. And I think this is when people really started hating them being similar in ways, even though they really weren't that similar.
My other issue with it is I didn't like all the tech. There was too much tech.
Oh, I fucking loved all the tech.
And it makes sense because you were guys that have played more Call of Duties. Like, where I'm like, I've only really played the Modern Warfare stuff. I played Black Ops 1. I played World at War and Ghost. That's it. So, like, playing this, like, I don't know. It was just too many options at times. Or I'm like, I just want to shoot people and how, like, I wanted more Modern Warfare, I think, is what I was wanted in this game, and it wasn't it. And I just was kind of in a, I don't know, I just didn't, there were too many options, and I wanted to jump, but I couldn't jump it sometimes, and the enemies would jump, and I'm like, I want you to stay on the ground so I can shoot you where you're nice and easy, not running around like a freaking, I also died a lot. There was one part late in the game where I died 6 or 7 times before I finally got it right, and I'm like, I'm playing on recruit, it shouldn't be this hard.
Wait, what part was it? Do you remember?
It was when you're going to attack Atlas. It was a final mission type thing, and you had to take out like 3 different mechs. But you didn't take them out once. But there was a mech on a higher platform, and I had to go up there to get him. And I had tried multiple ways, and he would just fuck me up like every time.
I thought you were going to say the bridge, because the bridge, there is one part I did die a lot too.
Okay, there were other parts in this game too that I died. That's just the last one I remember. But it happened to me multiple times where I died a bunch of times, and it felt like cheap deaths. It didn't feel like, okay, I was just stupid and ran out in front of the enemy, so of course I died. It was just me even trying to play and just getting overwhelmed, or trying to take out somebody that would not die.
Yeah, and I don't know, I think this game, like, that's why I think some of the tech I like the most, especially the just OP wall hack grenade, because on Veteran, it was the easiest time I had in the simple encounters where it's like, oh, there's like 6 dudes. I know where they are. Let me pop out. The thing that sucked about the Intel grenade, sorry, I was looking at other stuff in this game. The wall hack grenades is that it would scan the area, but if enemies spawned in little, like, tiny closets or something after, it would not count them. So I'd be like, oh, okay, they're all dead. But then I would see one run around the corner that leads to nowhere, and then they wouldn't be on the scan. And I did hate that. So it's like a lot of the stuff they had all had slight problems that I didn't love. But besides that, it was great. I loved it all. The EMP grenades were stupid. But like the side I think I really realized I was enjoying this more than I really caught on was I ran the fucking tutorial areas. The little like whatever they're called, trials in the like Atlas first mission. Where I ran them until I had the top score because I was just enjoying controlling the drone or shooting the guns at the targets. Also when they had a character who's like, yeah, I have the top score. I was like, you dick, fuck you. I'm gonna get the top score. But yeah, I did like it a lot, that stuff that they added. But I could see that later, like when you just want it to be simple, run through, shoot at the cool set pieces, and it's suddenly like hard, fuck you, and you're like, what? No, stop.
I don't know. I like all the set pieces for this game. Like I said, I love the idea of like jumping from car to car. That was really fun. There's that sneaking mission, which honestly, I'm surprised people don't do that more. Because like you chunk those grenades, right? The intel grenades. But I love the idea of just placing one down to see who's above you and just being like, all right, we're gonna go shoot those motherfuckers and all that stuff.
Okay, you're talking about the sneaking mission with Gideon where your plane crashes or something and you have to like hightail it through the woods.
No, it's the second one. It's the one where you're like starting off. We meet the girl for the first time.
Oh, you're talking about the one with like the villa.
Yeah, and then I love the part. I love the part where you're controlling the drone and you're using like a 50 caliber drone to just like shoot people. That's like, yeah, that part's great.
The fucking Sonic stuff was really cool to me, where they were like, oh, yeah, we need to shoot these dudes, but quietly. Do we have silencers? No. We have a grenade that just removes all sound from the area. And I'm like,
oh, the
hey,
mute.
Man,
it's called a mute something. It's like a
mute
charge.
Yeah. I love, like, it's just, it gets so, like, part of it's goofy, and I think some other part of me, it's like a little teenage young milk is like, oh, it's so fucking cool. Oh, hey, you know how normally we kick down the door and we shoot the guys? We're just going to shoot them through the fucking wall because we can see them. And I'm like, oh, geez, that's so cool, guys. There's just something about, like, these ones in particular. It's like, when they do weird shit, I'm just like, hey, listen, at least you have my attention. The other ones, I'm like, yeah, it's soap, and we're running, the castle's falling apart, and we're ziplining up to the chopper. Whoopee.
I didn't care for the grapple either.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get through a lot of this campaign, so there are parts you guys are talking about that I'm like, I do plan to finish it because I'm fucking enjoying it. What grapple?
You know that difficulty selector? You know, if you make it easier, the game goes by a lot faster.
No, I like being able to talk about what it's like on the other side because, like, I don't know, I've always
no, it's fine.
Better. What grapple they give you?
My only issue with the grapple, they give you a grapple where you can grapple around and fly zip through the air. My only issue with the grapple is it takes away all your fucking non-lethal grenades. So it's either grapple or you don't have. So if you have grapple, you don't have like the grenades you can throw to see people or the EMP grenades or flash grenades.
So I wouldn't have used grapple anyway. That's fine.
You don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
Oh, gross! Never mind. Yeah.
So when they add grapple in the game, like you can do stealth kills with grapple. Like there is a cool stealth stage when you have to infiltrate some kind of base. Where you end up like you would grapple people you'd grapple guards in the woods or in the bushes and then choke them out. Like there were some cool moments to that, but like
I do like that they kind of give you a preview of what it's gonna be like at that second mission or where it's literally the warehouse practice op. Yeah. And the first one they do stealth, and then you go through all this bullshit and you get back like, all right, let's run it again. This time we're going loud, and it's just fucking mayhem, and you're just murdering so many dudes in this virtual villa. And you're like, hey, Mr. President, we're here to rescue you. And you're like, oh, man, we got all these dudes inside. I don't know, get the drone out. And you just start cutting down all these dudes. And I was like, holy shit, this is really different. Like, to have both. And it's so chaotic in a way that I enjoy.
I mean, I do appreciate certain parts of the story, like the whole idea that because you didn't stop Hades, like, they win. They blow up the reactors, even though you kill him, I think, right before it. But the reactor... Or no, it's after... No, you kill him after. No, the reactors blow up. And, like, it puts the world in a frickin' where Atlas is able to kind of take over. But I'm at the same point, like, who the hell's paying them at this point?
The government.
I guess. But I don't know, it is interesting because it makes sense that you again, any dictator, you need some kind of event to happen. So, like, it makes sense that Kevin Spacey finds out and then doesn't do anything about it because he's like, this is a perfect opportunity for me to take charge. And then at one point, 4 years later, then it has like a time jump where it goes 4 years later and you start off in Detroit, and Detroit is just shitty as all hell and everything is like, that was cool. There were some cool moments. Had I not known the twist already, because I've already beaten this game, I think I would have been much more into it this playthrough than I was this playthrough.
Oh, but it's super obvious though, to be fair as well, because I mean, like, as I said, whenever I messaged y'all in the group chat, where it's like, oh yeah, what was it? It was like, oh yeah, we're Atlas and we're fighting this guy named Hades, and it's like, oh, we definitely like know that guy. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. That is the guy that we know and probably have somewhere on the pay books.
I'm curious to see where it goes, but I also, again, in terms of, like, as I said earlier, am I gonna be like, whoa, this story and the writing was brilliant? It's like, no, it's a fucking Call of Duty story, but at least there's stuff here that I'm like, I'm interested. You know, I don't know, Call of Duty modern day. It's been so interesting. Like, when Modern Warfare, the remake came out, I think everyone was really hyped. And I think just fucking 4 years later, I think we're already kind of winding down and like, okay, what now? Like, we keep just kind of riding the train. Modern Warfare 3, the second one in last year. And it's like, I don't know. Obviously, multiplayer is always going to kind of be cooking. It's like sports games. There's always going to be a community. But beyond that, everything else around it's like, I just don't. It's like, whatever. I mean, they're selling all those cosmetics, so they're probably making enough out the nose to keep them going. But, like, I don't know, it just feels already kind of flat. Like, I feel like Call of Duty, I think it was also when COVID was really kicking off, was when the first Modern Warfare remake came out, right? And so maybe that was part of my memory of it. But yeah, I don't know. It's that compared to this, it's just like, this is at least interesting. And I'm like, what's cooking here? What are we doing today?
It is. I think the idea that since it never comes back, like, because a lot of Call of Duties at this point feel like series. Like, you have the Modern Warfare series, you have the Black Ops series, and it feels like they were always trying to find the next want to make a series, and they just can't. Nothing clicks. And it just didn't click enough that we never got a sequel. And we're never at this point. We're never going to.
And I loved it for that. Like that's why I like Black Ops 1. I don't want to fucking play Black Ops 2 again. I think I do remember playing Black Ops 2. I have no interest in that. Black Ops 1, cool. Then when it was like Black Ops 2, I'm like, hey, what are we doing? Black Ops 3, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna throw up.
And then Black Ops 4 is multiplayer only.
Oh, and I know one thing that I think is funny. It's always burned in my memory because when did this game come out? Like 2014?
2014, late 2014.
You know what was really big back then? Iron Man. So that image that's used in like every single trailer for this game, it's honestly a pretty cool mission, is whenever you're flying through on the bikes and you skid through and there's a guy in a mech and like you see like the fucking he like shoots his arm out and you see the machine gun like build itself out of his arm and then he's like taking like pot shots. That was used in like every single promotional trailer for this fucking game.
That makes sense. I forget like I mean, and we've talked about before with Call of Duty that it really depends on what year the world is in because that affects so much of what these games are. I mean, I forget a lot about 2014 because my life was not a mess yet, but it was a mess around this time. So like I wasn't even like the last Call of Duty I played before I ended up getting back into some of them was Black Ops 2, and then I didn't play games for like a year.
This article that highlights them on order, it has like the tiniest like 1 or 2 sentence blurbs, and it's like. For example, this one is, the first Jetpack COD game turned the focus of the franchise from boots on the ground to flying in the air for a few years. Exo Suits allowed players to boost jump all directions, blah, blah, blah. The one right before for Ghost, the thus far standalone Ghost title brought a dog named Riley to the fight. And I'm like, that's it. That's all they had to say. And I'm like,
I want to play Ghost again.
Oh.
Really bad.
I never heard good things about Ghost, and I'm nervous.
It wasn't good things when it came out. I remember that much. I just want to play it just because I'm curious. It's very much like Modern Warfare again without a really cool story.
Yeah.
It's modern. It's the same idea. Like it's just another Modern Warfare game. And I think they were trying to make another trilogy of some sort or start one, and Ghost went nowhere.
I mean, if these numbers are still accurate at all, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 in 2011, 30 million. Call of Duty Ghost, 29 million. This game, 21 million. So apparently that one, even if everyone hated it, they bought it. So
my favorite Ghost story is still from my roommate, where he told me he like legit yanked the fucking game out of a child's hands and like pushed him to the ground. And I'm like, you really did that? He's like, yeah. And the worst part is this game fucking sucks. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh my god!
Why did he pull it out of a kid?
Because he really wanted it.
But couldn't he go somewhere else and buy it?
No, we live in the middle of nowhere. So we lived in a town of 10,000 people, and there was only one Walmart where you could buy everything from.
Jesus fuck, that's
so.
I
so there are only.
And it just kept getting worse. Ew.
There were only like 50 copies of Call of Duty. So if you didn't get one, you were fucked.
And this is also before digital era too.
Yeah.
Terrifying. And like 3 meanings of the word.
So shitty. Oh no, I can't. I could not do that to a kid. I'd be like, no.
Yes, Mike. Good. It's called empathy. I'm glad you have it. I'm sorry, Joe, your roommate didn't.
Yeah,
I'm also a father, so there's that too. Like I still remember. I know I brought this on the podcast before. I'm bringing it up again. I still remember when I was a kid and I gave my buddy like $20, and I was like, say you're like 10, when Pokemon Red was out, whatever year around that time that the game first came out, Pokemon Red and Blue. I was born in '87. You do the math if you care enough. But I was a young kid, and I gave my friend $20, or my mom did, I should say, and he was going to go buy me the guide because he was going to Babbage's at the time, and so he was going to pick up the guide for me because I had soccer practice, so I couldn't go, but he was going with his mom, and he was like 17 at the time, like 16, 17. He was an older guy that I knew, I was friends with, and I remember he comes over because he lived down the street. He brings over his Pokemon game. He's like, "Oh, I got Red and Blue." I'm like, cool, and he's got a guide. I'm like, "Oh, this looks so cool!" And I went, and I'm so excited. And he's like, I'm like, "What?" He's like, "That's mine. I used your money to get both copies of the game." I'm like, "What?" And bought the guide for himself. And that still 20-some years more. Who knows? Maybe 30 years later, I'm still remember it. Don't do it, kids. Remember, I'm sure that guy. Kid's like, I went like Call of Duty. Some asshole. Get away from my hands.
That kid 100% remembers. 1,000%. You know what the worst part is? It fucking sucks. Jesus Christ. So, this Call of Duty. It's been my favorite one so far. for the recording. That's all I got. Like, it's fine. I mean, we can't talk about Kevin Spacey. If Kevin Spacey was not here, I would feel much less yuck about this game.
I think that might have played a part in it for me too, because like when I played this game in 2014, I remember liking it. I remember liking the fact that Kevin Spacey in it, because I was like, he's a great actor. He seemed like a cool person. And now that everything has come out, because he got Me Too essentially is what led to when all that stuff happened too. That's when it comes out, is in 2018. It's hard. Like, I watched Baby Driver not too long ago for the show, and it didn't really, he played a villain too, and like, okay, it didn't bother me. But in this, also, right before we played this game and talked about it, there was a Kevin Spacey documentary came out on HBO Max. My wife like, we should watch this. I'm like, sure, I'm going to be talking about this, and I knew a little bit, but woo, does that really kind of shed a light on him?
Yes, and I just want to think before we started anything else, I was like, I really want to take a moment and be like, hey, I really am not okay with that Kevin Spacey's in this. There's no part of me that anytime I saw him, for like basically anytime I saw him, I was like, oh, it's that guy. Ew. I know it's Kevin. Like, because I don't think I know Kevin Spacey for much else besides like this.
Well, he was in Usual Suspects, won an Oscar. Yeah. He's in American Beauty, wins an Oscar. Like, he was in House of Cards. He was a big actor, and I liked him.
I've never seen him in anything. This is like the first thing I've ever seen him in, and I know of the not allegations, the shit he did. Let's put it like that. And I'm like, I don't like this dude.
There's enough of it. I mean, yes, he was found not guilty in the U.S. court and the U.K. court, but again,
still a bad person.
Yeah, it looks at camera with face of like, sure, whatever.
When it comes to like rape allegation, things like that, like, it doesn't go well for women that even have proof. And here are men coming out against another man that has power and is famous. Like, you even have less of a say in it, or less power in the situation. And there's no evidence. Like, that's probably, I'm assuming why they lost the case. There wasn't enough evidence other than he said, she said, or he said in this case, unfortunately. But there isn't evidence. So it's harder to, and the documentary really goes into these 10 people who weren't anyone involved with any of the court system, and they're like, this is what all happened to me. And like, you realize he's a serial predator. This isn't like, he made a bad decision once. No, he made nothing but bad decisions. That's just who he was.
Yeah, there's
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Joe.
I was just gonna say there's a point where like if it's a one person thing where it's like, yeah, I understand it's a he said she said thing, and you feel bad but if it's like tens of 15s of 20 people being like, yeah, this dude slapped me in the ass multiple times and did awful things to me, it's like, maybe we should but maybe we should do something about him.
I mean, and he lost the civil court with Netflix sued him for disrupting House of Cards, and they making it a hostile work environment, and he lost that suit and had to pay millions of dollars for it. Like, I think at first, when I first heard, I said, okay, like, maybe it's not like, I didn't know, but like, when enough stuff comes out, it's like, oh, you're a shitty fucking person no matter what at this point.
Yeah, I think when it finally reaches that point, I don't think it's ever like, oh, is this the first time? It's like, oh, this is the first time we're hearing of. Absolutely.
Yeah, because he was like many people he was protected for a long time by people, and people knew, like, he was known as a predator so they would just, like, a lot of times they'd had women around him and women because he wasn't interested in women, so they had women around him, but you wouldn't have certain kind of men because and he also liked straight men. He liked men that were straight that could then convert to being gay. So it's like, not only do you have the aspect of you're going after people who don't want you, you're also going after people who are just not into what you are completely, like, and you're doing it on purpose because you want to make a statement. It's just even more disgusting.
I need to watch this documentary because
it's really good.
I was just about to plug it. So did you enjoy this episode, but you're not going to play Call of Duty? Good news. You can watch Spacey Unmasked. It's available on Discovery Plus, YouTube Prime, Roku channel, YouTube TV, HBO Max, Sling TV.
I think it's just on Max, but that one's fun.
Please go watch that and be like, wow, this dude sucks. Because, I mean, obviously, I think that's the part that hits me where I get a little too real, is like, it falls on such deaf ears, I think, when I just remember, oh, yeah, we had I think at that time, presidential candidate, but regardless, a president who said, quote, grab him by the pussy, and it was never, that was just not the end. It's like, okay, this should have ended a long time ago. That should be a thing. And it was like, nah, that's great. We love him. And it's like, that clearly, I think, just represents how much of a joke in cultures that this very serious subject should be. And it's still just like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. He probably didn't even do it. Just accusations. It's like, Jesus fuck. God damn it.
I need to post the TikTok in the group chat. There's like this woman who's on like the news, and she's like, so Trump lost his court case for Stormy Daniels. What do you pay her? $150,000 roughly to keep quiet.
Probably.
I think is what it was.
Yeah.
Anyways, but she's like, she's on the news, live on the news. She's like, I don't even know how they paid Stormy Daniels that, because it would not cost any amount of money to have me admit that I had sex with Trump. In fact, I would move down to the Galapagos and pretend to be a bird.
What?
Yeah, it's like the most like fucked up like fuck you ever, and it's hilarious.
I just wasn't expecting those words. I was like, okay, move very far away and then be a bird. I was like, what did we say? Huh?
Okay. One last thing in this rant before we get back to some more Call of Duty talk. But I was watching a Hitler documentary that came out recently about the Nuremberg trials, and she made the historian they were talking to made a comment of how Hitler going to he had a place on top of mountains that was like his vacation area. She compared it to like Mar-a-Lago, and I just started fucking laughing.
Okay.
Because I got the reference. Trump went to Mar-a-Lago. Trump was a tyrant had he had the choice. He just didn't have the choice. But okay, that's enough political talk.
So what we talk about
Trump, please.
We talk about Kevin Spacey. He been an awful person, but at least at the end of the day, at the end of the day, the game,
it feels like a movie.
Yeah, it does. He's still the main bad guy, which helps. So it's not.
Yeah, I mean, he is a villain. You do end up killing him. I think it was just like. Maybe it hit. I don't know what it was about the stuff with Atlas. That when Atlas goes, because the whole thing is you find out that he knew about it. You're going to come out and let people know that he knew about the nuclear disaster and didn't stop it. You see, as the game progresses, the whole idea is that he ends up getting all the countries essentially back him, and he's like, I guess since he has the most powerful military, he's like, okay, I'm just going to take over. Fuck you with the United Nations, because he's like, politicians don't do anything. Which is a very 2014 thing too.
Yeah, that's fair. This game.
I used to be okay with that until 2016 happened, and that helped somebody win. Damn it, we're back here again. And now I did not like it in here because I'm like, you know what? Like, I get it. Politicians don't get stuff done, but when we voted for the guy that said that, I was not happy with where things went, so I don't like it in here.
Yeah,
it bothered me more than I thought it would. So none of those are the reason why I didn't enjoy this game. It was just, I think I just wasn't. It just wasn't. I wanted it to be a breezy experience for me with Call of Duty, and it really wasn't that. And I didn't appreciate all the extra jumping and like the shield I could do or rip off a car door. It was too much stuff where I wanted just to play. I think I wanted a Modern Warfare or something like Black Ops that's more realistic. I think is what I wanted. I didn't get that, and that's fine. That's not what this game is, and that's not the game's fault. That's just what I wanted and not what I was getting. That's all. I can't. Like, the game was fine.
Yeah, sorry. I like the Call of Duty games where you channel your inner Iron Man, and you have grenades that like seek people out, and you have the big thing at the end where you have the big what's it called? The big thing at the end where you're both. Which honestly, at the end of the day, that's where you really fucked up, Kevin Spacey. You're gonna make a fucking virus that kills people that have to have special nanomachines in their blood. Just make thousands of these big Iron Man suits, because we basically killed his entire fucking complex with just 2 of them.
Yeah, but a virus is so much 2014 though too. Weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
Wait, when is Iraq all that shit in Afghanistan?
2011 to 2016. So yeah, that's why
okay, that checks.
The weird part of this game too is I think the Atlas base is in Baghdad, which is weird.
New Baghdad, get it right.
New Baghdad.
Yeah.
I think that kind of bugged me a little bit. It made me kind of like, oh. And like when you get sent to like, there's that one mission you get captured, because eventually you end up working for the U.S. military because they recruit you because Atlas is going to murder you, and then eventually you get captured and they're going to murder you anyway. That I mean, there were a lot of comparables to other things, and I'm like, I mean, what you're going for here, like.
Anytime we talk about like the cool big suit, I just even like I was watching through a little bit of the trailers. We were just talking. I was seeing if there was any 9/11 content in the most recently posted 19 minutes ago trailer. Didn't see anything.
They said Call of Duty or Black Ops 6 is going to take place during 1990.
Yeah, it looks like that's what it was. The 90s. Yeah, everything I was seeing. But seeing in that trailer at one point a dude in a big ass suit with a big old minigun come up, and I'm like, I think out of all the things Call of Duty's ever done, and as you referenced the Iron Man, they're goddamn just chasing that high since they introduced the Juggernaut suit. And I think Modern Warfare 2? Modern Warfare 2. And I'm like, I just don't think you guys quite captured it. It's just something about them in those games. And then it was like, you get to be in a Juggernaut suit. It's like, whoa. whoa, this is wild. And then it's like, yeah, it's another big dude in a suit with a big gun. We get it. Ooh, it's that guy.
I mean, the two parts in this game where you get a mech-ish thing are fun. Like, you have the last part in the end game, and there's also, I think, another one where you get into one when you're escaping prison, too, because you only have the one arm, so you can't do some of the stuff. Because when you get arrested, they take I think you lose your arm, or I don't remember. At some point, you lose your robotic arm.
Kevin Spacey gets butthurt that you betrayed him, and he takes a fucking
he rips it off you. He rips it out of you. That's what
he beats it with a, like, what is it called? Like a wrench or whatever. He beats it with a wrench. He's butthurt because he's like, you're supposed to work for me. You're supposed to be my son. Is that also what's supposed to be implied in this game too? Is that he's butthurt his son died?
Yes, that's supposed to be what energized him to be like, okay, the government can't do anything, so I'm going to take over because I don't need to have a console to tell me to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Like, yes, the idea of one, which has been taught in history, like the idea of one person in charge of things, that you don't need to have a committee vote, but when you only have one person involved, guess what? You get things like Adolf Hitler. So the list goes on. Saddam Hussein. I mean, there are many more. You don't want that. So that's why you have committees.
This is a derail, but like, look at this. It's from the trailer. There's something about wacky Call of Duty that just tickles me, where it's like, do you want a multiplayer skin that's a riot zombie guard covered in electrified chains, and next to him is a dude with no skin in his torso, a robot helmet, and his chest is glowing? And I'm like, fuck, dude. Call of Duty should just never stop doing this. I feel like Call of Duty, there's another timeline where they kind of go more Saints Row-y, and they just get buck wild, and I would have been so there for that timeline. Because I look at that picture, I'm like, oh, what is this? Like, from this game? And it's like, no, that's from 1991 Call of Duty. And I go, you shut the fuck up. Stop lying to me. No, it's not. They look ridiculous. It's like, God. So
there's the weird timeline where Call of Duty becomes Metal Gear Solid 4, which is basically what this was, where everything's ID tagged and war never changes.
I think that bothered me a little bit, too, in a weird way, because I mean, private military contractors I know are a thing. Like, I don't think about it much or forget that it's a thing in our reality, but it is. Like, there are some of them out there. So I get that what they were drawing from, but I mean, again, Kojima predicting the future more. But they don't run the world like what he's trying to here, thank God. But I get it. I forget. I know there are some, and I forget their names. I know people talk about them often.
Black Hawk? Oh, I can't remember one. There's like one big one that comes.
Yeah, it's Black something, but I don't remember.
I do think the funnier part too is you have a retrace of the original moment, because I forget what mission it is too, where like you're like doing stuff and there's a bunch of guys in like invisible suits and they're like, who the fuck are you guys? And it's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's early on when you're working for Atlas still, and you run into. And I thought they were other Atlas people, but they might have been U.S. military. I'm not sure.
It's the military. That's the suit that what is it? Who was the guy in the beginning of the game that like tells you not to trust fucking Kevin Spacey? It's like your captain or your major.
Oh, and then okay, I didn't catch. Oh, that's the one that you end up joining a little bit later. Yeah, you go back to the Marines, I guess. And they also like get rid of you being discharged, which I don't know if they can do that. And then they also like make Gideon like a captain too, because you're allowed not right away, because Gideon doesn't join you. You end up doing a mission that you bring down some, because you find out that there's a virus that Atlas is making, and you find out that this virus is essentially coded by if you're not part of Atlas or not, you'll be killed. Which is a really powerful weapon of mass destruction, by the way. But like that's a thing that's always been like a lot of video games, and I think movies too, like this idea that you could drop something in the battlefield that will kill everyone that isn't your men.
What are you talking about, Mike? They already have something like that. Don't you know COVID? The COVID vaccine put a microchip in you so it doesn't work anymore. That's why, oh my God, there's a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake trailer on.
No. Maybe we should start wrapping
the stupidity of the joke, and I mean, I like the joke. And then all of a sudden you just changed what you're saying.
I think we all got a little bit more left at all of Joe at this rate.
Apparently, yeah. He's like, but there's trailers for new games.
No, it's fine.
I wish I cared about new games.
Mike.
But no, people really. I mean, yeah, you are right. People do. There are people out there that still believe that COVID was fake and all this. And I mean, it could have been made in a freaking lab. Who knows? But that's neither here nor there. But either way, like, it wasn't fake.
You guys ever joke about like conspiracy theories that are real but aren't real but could be real? There's one I always joke with people that's about like pigeons aren't real. I think pigeons are made by the government to spy on people.
I've heard birds, but yeah.
The reason why I believe COVID was made in the lab, because I also very much believe AIDS was made in the lab. Like, there's no way AIDS just started to exist at one point. I believe it was actually meant to like kill the gay community. So yeah, so COVID being made in the lab, probably realistic. Having a machine that does nanomachines that keeps you from killing your people in your government. Yeah, I believe there's someone working on that right now.
Oh, 100. I can believe that too. I mean, nanomachines, like, I think nanomachines, are they already, have we created them yet in real life?
To a small extent, I think we've gotten to a point where you can have nanomachines in your body, but it's just kind of to look around. I don't think they've actually made it to where they can stay in your body permanently, because either you get sick from it or your body starts to reject them and you get you die from it.
Okay. But you don't want self-replicating nanomachines, otherwise you get a villain from Stargate.
What villain is that?
I forget, but they're a whole race, these little like little droid thingies that eat everything and consume it all so they can into matter they can use and then make more.
Yeah,
okay.
Stargate's really good, by the way, SG-1. But
not at a nano level, but that's also just Horizon Zero Dawn. So that was one of my favorite plots of like seeing that. I was like, well, this is fucked up. It's like, damn, maybe we should have made the robots that are self-designated and charged by eating matter. What a wild thought that was.
And also robot dinosaurs. Maybe we shouldn't have made the big dinosaurs that can eat people.
No, that one I will keep. I will keep robot dinosaurs. Just don't let them be charged by matter. That they can go, humans? Up.
How about we make it so that they're charged by the sun, then we black out the sun?
I think that's a thing too somewhere, but
You know what I'm referencing.
No, I don't.
Matrix 1, the idea is that they blacked out the sun and that's why they eat humans now.
Oh, that's stupid. I had to rewatch the Matrix series. That movie's fucking buck-ass wild.
The first movie's fucking awesome. It's great, by the way. Just stop there. But the first movie's masterpiece.
Hey, listen, you just learn that trans allegory and those creators are cooking. Because it absolutely fucking was.
Oh, yeah.
You know, those... What is it? It's okay, Mike. Have you seen the fourth movie? They very much explain that those two movies are Warner Brothers' fault, and it's very funny.
I already knew that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've never seen the fourth one. I just don't care for the Matrix world to begin with, even though there is a Matrix game on this podcast. But I just don't care for Matrix.
Mike, if any game was on this podcast indicated you cared for everything involving it, you wouldn't be a human. There'd be too many things you care about.
I mean, I do like a majority of the stuff on this podcast, so.
I feel like the ones I hear the most about are the ones you don't like. And those are the ones I feel like you remember. Like that,
I think that's because some of the stuff you've been on.
See, and we finally got there. It's only been, what it was, 50 minutes? Oh, it's a little more. We got finally at the Dead Rising. It took 70 minutes before Space Smoke mentioned Dead Rising on the podcast.
That was one of the games I did not like that's on the podcast.
No, it's okay. It's the games on Mom Found Effect where sometimes you talk about games that you remember playing fondly as a kid, and then you play them again and you find out they suck, which I will be talking about next week, but don't worry about that right now. What is it? I'm mostly surprised because I don't remember hating it too much, but I remember it being probably the worst mission. I do hate the fact that it's storyline wise, but they could have ignored it. I do hate that they break your arm and they're like, oh yeah, you now have to just pick up weapons after they're out of ammo.
Yeah, it was fine on Recruit for the most part. It wasn't too difficult, but it was kind of annoying that I had to make sure I didn't run out of ammo. I also didn't know what the melee button was for a good chunk of this game.
Anyway.
Do you mean the melee button that doesn't fucking work?
What?
There's so many enemies I walk up to punch, and I either got them completely ragdolling, or they literally take the punch in the chest and go, that tickled, and then they blow my head off. It's
because they are powerful. To fit the world of what you're having here, you probably have modifiers when it comes to damage and things in gaming talk, but they're ways that they're meant not to die easily. That's why it felt like what Milk said earlier, it kind of has that feel of a Halo-ish game, and I think that was one of my complaints, is that in a Call of Duty, I'm used to just, if I tag you with a bullet, you're going to go down, and this is a game where you're not fighting just random people running around, in the Modern Warfare game. There were times you fight a lot of people running around in freaking t-shirts and shorts. That's not what this game is.
Sounds like whatever next call. I bet that World at War remake, not the original World at War, but the World at War that Sledgehammer or whoever made, I bet that game they die real quick. Maybe that's the next one. Keep thinking about it and
the one that's just called World War II?
Yeah, that one.
I'm curious.
I don't know. I just keep thinking about that. I'm thinking about the other ones. I'm like, this one feels very at the end of the day, I'm like, even though I liked playing it, it feels very minus the Kevin Spacey forgettable. I'm like, yeah, whatever. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. The parts I
really
enjoyed
just-
the most are not what was going on in this story beat to beat. It was like, oh, I love that the HUD. They're like, you don't need a HUD. It's all just now on your gun as information. Like when that first popped up and I started processing, I was like, oh, that's actually pretty neat. I like that. That's a little neat design thing. Well,
Yeah.
Thank you, Dead Space.
yeah.
I mean, it is cool that there was. I mean, and this game tried to switch it up where you have a part where you drive a boat, which I forgot about until just now. I'm watching a speed run. Like you have little things that try to like alternate, not a boat, like you kind of sub, but they did try to alternate the game and give you these different modes like every Call of Duty does. It just, I think part of my issue is that like at this point, Call of Duty is not about single player campaigns. It's about the multiplayer, and they know it. Like you really feel that with Modern Warfare 2, where first Modern Warfare, they didn't know that yet. So it's very much still like we need to make a really good story.
Oh, yeah, no, Modern Warfare 2 is, I think, where it really...
I think
that
World
was
at War
that's where it popped off.
has a good
like,
campaign.
Yeah, I think World at War and Modern Warfare 2 is where they really started being like, hey, wait, is multiplayer going to be the thing? And then by whatever, the end of Modern Warfare 2, like, life, they're like, oh, yeah, we're going multiplayer, baby.
And that's part of my complaint.
Yeah.
Is that it doesn't... I don't care about multiplayer. I mean, I'm happy it exists. I'm happy that there are people there who love it. I just don't like multiplayer games. I think it's just I didn't have the right friend group at the time that people were like, okay, let's just, because it wasn't, when I did play with my friends multiplayer, it wasn't a chill experience. It was let's yell because we lost. Like,
Yeah.
who cares? Like, just have fun.
Yeah, that's all.
Or it's more of insult Mike because his kill death ratio is lower than ours. That was that.
Also garbage. Yeah, these are things that would not make someone have a good time. And then it's like, oh, I don't really like because it was a shit time. They're like, yeah, that's very fair. You shouldn't have had that experience. Those are bad.
No, I mean, and I got that a lot because I was just never really good at shooters, I guess, or just I just wasn't good at multiplayer stuff, and I used to get a lot of shit for that. Like I remember at one time with Halo 2 or Halo 3, maybe, like my friend didn't want to play with me because Halo 2 especially, like, they would play ranked, and I'm like, well, you're not as good, so if we play as we're gonna lose, so we don't want to play with you.
I mean, especially with the Infinite, like the more mainline Infinity Ward games, something that broke my brain was when my friend went, yeah, at this point they make those games and the stories, the set pieces are just to be cool multiplayer maps. And I thought about it and I was like, oh, my heart. Oh, I hate this. And I don't feel that as much in this one. I haven't seen the multiplayer maps, so I'm like, yeah, I feel like we're still kind of, that's not the only main thought of what we're doing. Man, I'm tired of AAA games. Also watching the trailer, all these trailers of games I don't recognize. I'm like, it's just like, it looks like AAA bullshit. And I'm ready. I'm ready to get out of AAA. All the cool stuff. Hades 2 slaps, folks. Go play Hades 2. Anyway.
I've been playing Hades 2. It's okay.
Oh, wow, that hurts. We don't.
Oh, no.
Look, can we take this offline? I need to take that offline.
No. Not Hades 2 is okay. I understand. You're playing Hades 2.
Okay,
It's amazing. It's fantastic. I love the frog.
Yes, there we go. That's the real answer. Hey, I just watched them see enemies through walls using like a little flash of games that had that were cool. Anyway.
So at the end of the day, it all makes sense because you were given an arm by Kevin Spacey and he's hanging off the ledge and you cut off your arm, which probably fucking hurt. And Kevin Spacey fell to his death. And the whole world's in turmoil.
Well, bro.
So I think they were setting up for a sequel, but then this didn't do enough. Because I'm assuming the fact that it did better than you said, like what, Modern Warfare 3?
No, this one did like worse. This did worse than Ghosts. This was like,
okay, so yeah, that's bad. Because I mean, like with Ghosts, I bet they were hoping for it to be like getting near Modern Warfare 1 numbers, where you will never get back to that again because that's a just spot in time.
Yeah.
Is Infinite Warfare not a sequel?
Infinite Warfare, people think it's not a sequel to Ghost. No, there's nothing sequel to Ghost. But Infinite Warfare, people think is part of the Modern Warfare series. I don't know why, but people do think that.
Oh, that was Perfect Dark. What the fuck? Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, that was Perfect Dark. I figured that out early on.
Oh my god! You're watching the trailer still.
Now I am. Yeah. God dang it! It's too hard not to. We can focus up.
No, it's fine.
It's okay. I don't give a shit about Happy's fucking game. It's fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's like so doable. If I was like heavily invested, I'm like, no, I can wait. But I'm like, wow, this is a nothing sandwich as well.
Yeah, no, like I said, I meant like I thought Infinite Warfare was a sequel to Advanced Warfare because
no, it's not at all. It's completely. Okay, it's just another different game.
Yeah, where
they go in a different way. It's very space heavy. You fight people from Mars. It's way in the future. I think you even have a freaking like. I think you actually fly a spaceship at one point for your on
2187. Like 130 years later, that's when Infinite takes place.
Yeah, no, I remember liking Infinite Warfare, but I also remember liking this game. So, I mean, I didn't hate this game. I don't want to. I just wasn't like super invested, but I wasn't upset like I have been lately. So, the game didn't hurt me.
I That's the way to phrase it. This game upset me, but not like how I've been upset lately. Not like that.
The previous week to this, I played Prince of Persia Warrior Within, and that game hurt me. And the next week, which I don't want to talk about yet, also hurt me. So, like, this,
buddy.
I think it's just been
You're
the
just
guy
in
who did the
between a lot of
schedule.
a bad headspace for this game. Hopefully next Call of Duty, if there is one, it'll be something real great.
Oh, there will be. I mean, 100%. I owe you, Milk, that it's your pick. It's just, I forget that we did, like, Modern Warfare 4, I think in 2022, and then we did 2 and 3 in 23, and then it took me a bit to get to this one, and then I built the schedule, so if we do another one, it won't be until next year. We'll definitely do more.
Yeah, I don't know if one next. I feel like if one of the one people care about is definitely Black Ops 1. But I'm like, I don't know. I like doing these ones that I never got to experience to any degree. I remember Black Ops 1. It has its time. But, like, I want to know what the fuck is going on in Ghost, where I was like, God, I fucking hate Ghost. I almost think Joe's story about a man pushing down a can and saying, the worst part is this game sucks, makes me almost want to pick that. It's just like, I want to do that kid justice for little Jimmy at the Walmart with 10,000 people.
You just want to hope that somewhere where that kid is, he happens to look up a podcast that 500 people listen to and be like, oh, that's one of the guys. He knew the guy. That fucking asshole. I told the people that story happened. It happened. I know it did.
I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna wake up in like naked in like a chair with like a dude wearing a Bane, with a kid wearing a Bane mask, going, "So who's the man who took the game from me?"
Well, it wouldn't be a kid anymore. But this would be a man.
I don't know. What year did Ghost come out?
2013.
Okay, that was like he was like an 8-year-old from what my friend said, like a 5 or an 8-year-old. So I mean, he might be like
5 or 8 anymore.
Oh, yeah, he's probably like, I'll say that he's probably like 15 or 16 is what I'm saying, so I'm not good at math. So we'll do the math for me.
Older. No, he's like 20 plus, right? Yeah, he's so.
If he was 8 or 10, he would either be 18 or 20, roughly, because it's been. But yeah.
You crushed a child's spirit, like I'm about to crush your spine.
Who was the name of this man that did this to me? I have been living with this hatred all my life.
He's right next door. He's still my roommate right now. You can go have him. Just let me go. I don't give a shit.
That's the best part is that
I'll even bring him outside for you. I don't care.
He's gonna have him he's gonna get to your friend and neighbor's gonna be like, so you know what the worst part was? That game sucked, and then they both say it at the same time. They're like, oh, maybe we aren't so different after all.
His torture ties up to a chair. Like, okay, you're gonna have to watch this game the rest of your life.
The game sucks ass. I know, right?
And he pulls out a brand new copy. Now it's going up your ass.
All right, so yeah, Call of Duty, whatever.
Oh, man. Look what you did. That's the first time that's ever happened where I just can't stop laughing.
Oh, that's great.
So
good job, Milk. High five.
Yeah, what a duo we are.
All right, I think we have run. Any last things you want to say about this game? I feel like we have exhausted it.
No, I'm good.
No, not about this game. Put the trailers in front of me. It's very gooey.
All right, I did get some comments, so let me pull those up. Oh, a new Doom game is coming out, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I just saw it ad when I went to go on Facebook to clip my other things that I'm looking for, but someone's like, "Oh, look, like, oh, good, cool." Okay, from the official Laser Time community. So I have to say that my comment to start this is I wasn't super. I said I felt like one of the duller Call of Duties that I played. From Andrew Harbor, it was a pretty good campaign for me. The one that really stands out from this era is Infinite Warfare. From Connor Wade, I think this was the last one I actively played. This was also the game that gave us the F meme. From Andrew Sanders, to be honest, I'm in favor of any COD that wants to be different. Sadly, most of the fan base disagrees. Titanfall 2 kind of still exists, at least.
Oh, yeah.
Titanfall 2 is a fucking amazing game, by the way. It needs to be on this podcast. But and from Kevin Weiss, this is the last COD game I ever purchased, so I guess that tells you how I feel.
Oh.
From Tron Leon Jamel, this was the last yearly COD I purchased. My friends at the time convinced me that we'd play it weekly. The Exo Suit was cool, but it did absolutely nothing for me. Someone who bounced off the series after Modern Warfare 2, the best part of Advanced Warfare is probably Kevin Spacey's performance. So it's one redeeming quality that aged horrendously. Yes, it did. And it's a little. I mean, I try to divorce the person from the art a lot of times, but it was hard in here to divorce that. I mean, yes, he's playing a villain, but and I like the actor a lot, but it was hard. especially when I watched the documentary that really showed how piece of shit he is. Like, it was hard. So, from Alex Omedo, this game got way too much hate, especially on multiplayer. The left and right dodge strats were elite, and I will die on that hill. Oh, yeah, you can, like...
The dodging was cool. I don't think I used very much, because, again, I think when you're playing veteran, it's just so different. But I can see on lower difficulties having that and being nice.
And from Ed Balon, this is the game with Exo Suits and Kevin Spacey, but didn't let you fight him in Exo Suit in the end.
That would have been pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie.
And from the Giant Bomb Group, from Nick Kitchyman, bit unfortunate that it features Kevin Spacey very prominently.
Yep.
And from Nicholas London, I remember the announcement trailer got me super hyped. Not the best Call of Duty ever, but certainly not the worst. The overall design of the weapons, of technology was cool and had a story that I found pretty interesting at the time. What I remember most of that is probably my least played Call of Duty when it comes to the online multiplayer. Something about it just didn't click with me, and I fell off after maybe only a month or two. That's sad, because for so many people, that's why you're buying this game.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I mean, that's why I bought Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 for full price, because I was like, I'm going to play this with my friend. I didn't, by the way, for the same reasons I mentioned earlier. They would bitch if we lost because of me, because I was not good at Call of Duties, even though it doesn't matter. But yeah, they would bitch. And from Stephen Kess, it's the best one. The stealth level, masterful. And in the last group, I watched the entire Old Blood Super replay. From John Aldridge, friend of the show, probably my favorite of the newer CODs next to Infinite Warfare. From Lucas Harris, Advanced Warfare was the last Call of Duty game I ever bought. I enjoyed it quite a bit. From R. Phillip, Provincio, the only Call of Duty I remember anything about. Having Kevin Spacey on board really upped the quality of acting, then, well, we all know the rest. From Matthew Paul Irwin, the only Call of Duty campaign I played in the last 12 years, hoping to go back and play the rest when they come to Game Pass, which might even be announced this coming Sunday, at the time that we're recording this. But it hasn't been announced yet, has it? Reporter, Joe? Yeah, they're coming to Game Pass?
Yeah, coming to Game Pass. They said day one Game Pass Call of Duty.
Oh, for all of them, or just a new one?
No, just a new one. They haven't announced if the other ones are coming out yet.
That's what I want, because then I'll maybe subscribe for 1 month and play some games.
No,
yeah.
But if we did like a Call of Duty month, I would fucking hate Call of Duty by the fourth month.
By the end of that month,
I'd be like, fuck this series.
I think it'd be great to hear it for that reason. I can't imagine just like the first Call of Duty, fine, fourth Call of Duty, like, I fucking hate Call of Duty. Just hearing Mike devolve episode by episode, even if they release.
Oh, I mean, I bring this up before, but I'll bring it up again. I did this once where I played Uncharted 1 through 3. And I already beat 1 and 2 before in the past, but I wanted to get to 3. It's like, okay, I'll play these 3 in a row. And by the time I got to 3, I was so fucking burned out that I didn't enjoy myself. And I will never do that again. Like, I don't, if you notice, like, the way the show is also spaced out in the games that I play, I don't play the same genre one after another. I try to split it up so I don't get burnt, especially never the same series. Like, there was a while where I wouldn't even put the same series in a season. Like, I would make sure it was another 20 weeks before I went back to that series. Now, not so much. But
yeah, the closest you're getting, folks, is a Kingdom Hearts game every 3 months, which is fine.
Yeah, that's just because I'm trying to get... Well, that and Assassin's Creed, by the way. Assassin's Creed is also pretty... The only reason why we had a longer break between when we did Revelations and 3, which was February, and we're doing it in June, was because I wanted to land near July 4th for 3.
Oh, that's funny. I applaud you for that, sir. That's great.
It's going to come out a couple days before July 4th, but during that week, it will be the new episode of game-wise, number-wise, is Assassin's Creed 3.
That's fucking great. I mean, you did plan that on purpose, you motherfucker.
I did. Oh, I 100% planned that on purpose when I first thought about it. I'm like, I'm going to put these here and get here. It doesn't happen often. I regret that all the episodes I've done so far for 69, I have not done anything, like, sexy-related, like I should. But I try to do dumb stuff at certain points.
We did talk about this at one point. I vividly remember us talking about if you did. Oh yeah, it was off. It was not on a podcast. We're talking about if we did a sexy game. I think I was looking up Call of Duty stuff, and I found like, that was weird. I'm having flashbacks. I don't like it.
Okay.
Call of Booty.
I mean, that's what you were trying to talk about earlier, huh?
Yeah.
And from last comment from Nate McClellan, friend of the show, game was fine. They really lean into that fish technology, only capable on next-gen systems in their marketing. I don't know what he means by that.
You say fish technology?
Yeah.
I remember there was a meme, and I think it was around this time, where basically someone said something akin to like, the fish react to your movements in the water. I think it was a Call of Duty game, and then the meme is that they then show Super Mario 64 gameplay of the fish doing the same thing.
Okay, that makes sense, and I can see marketing being like, "Oh, look at what we can do! Look!"
Yeah, and I think that's kind of just being like, yeah, I think sometimes when they're, I mean, I read the description for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Fucking I'll just say, Call of Duty campaign provides dynamic moment-to-moment gameplay that includes a variety of play spaces with blockbuster set pieces and action-packed moments, high-stakes heists, and cloak and dagger. And then it adds just a little snippet, cloak and dagger spy activity. If you didn't have that, it's like, I could be talking about any fucking Call of Duty ever. And you're like, yep, I'm glad. And then the multiplayer is the same thing. 12 6v6 dynamic maps. You're like, Call of Duty, I think that's what I'm talking about. They're just getting a player. It's like, I don't know, what can we say about this Call of Duty? Kind of the same thing we said about the last 5, but it's fine. No one really cares anymore.
No, that's fair. I don't really know what I mean, like, the more we talk about this game and everything else besides this game, like, I'm trying to think, like, what really is my opinion, and it's like, I don't really know. Like, I can't, like, I didn't have a terrible time. I didn't hate this game. I didn't hate play it. I mean, I know what that feels like now very well. But, like, there was none of that. I just wasn't hugely on board. Like, I think it didn't help that I've already played this and I knew the story. I think if I didn't know the twists and turns, I would have been more into this game. I think that didn't help because this was still in my memory where we did all the Modern Warfares. They were outside my memory because they were from the before times for me, before I went through a terrible time in my life. So my memory was more jagged than where this is remembered way more because it was played since I met my wife.
Do you remember the plot of Black Ops 1?
No.
Nope.
Okay, good. That makes me want to pick that one because it's good. I remember it being good. It might be trash.
Here, why don't we announce it on air? What do you want us to pick, Milk? I mean, it won't happen for at least 8 months because I already wrote the schedule up till January. But why don't you tell me what you think? What do you want our next one? And then we'll put it in stone.
Oh, on the spot?
On the spot.
Yeah.
Well, I think you already had ideas. You already had one that you mentioned.
I had 3. Cool. Let me roll a die. It was, roll 1d3. Because it's between either Black Ops 1, Ghosts, or the new World War II. We're going to go with, let's do Black Ops. Fuck yeah. Black Ops is fun. Especially because you guys don't remember that story. And there's something about that story I think it's the start of what we start to see in this game is like, hey, we're gonna do something weird today, and I'm like, okay, you have my attention Again, Black Ops 1.
I'm excited because I really want to play Black Ops. I played Black Ops 1 back then. Black Ops 2 always lived in my memory and infamy because I will never forget. I had broke up with the person that I was with, and I remember I started dating someone new, and we were at a hotel, and she was off doing whatever, and I remember I brought my 360, and I was playing Black Ops 2. And that was the last time I ever played Black Ops 2, because then I moved and it was terrible and I never got around to actually finishing that game. So, okay, that's what you reminded me. But I actually bought Black Ops 1 and 2 steelbook cases at a pawn store for like $5 or $10 each for PS3. No, and Black Ops 1 didn't come with Black Ops 1, it also came with Black Ops 2.
I think it's a good choice because this is like the day they're really showing off more Black Ops 6 content. And in that trailer, there is a character who I think is introduced in Black Ops 1 who's still in Black Ops 6. So it's like, yeah, clearly it's just like modern Call of Duty, but light, where they're like, yeah, we got to keep, I'll say his name, Woods around because people like it. No Woods, so.
Someone please remind me because I legit hate myself that I literally. It's the same price. I mean, it's whatever, but I hate that. Like, we literally talked about it where it was like, oh, hey, look, Call of Duty, the Steam sale's going on and blah, blah, blah. And I literally was like, oh, I'll buy Call of Duty tomorrow. And the Steam sale ended and I'm like, fuck. And thank God GameStop still exists because, like I said, I bought that for like $10-15. So I was like, okay, cool. Because if I had to pay more. Did you do
an application again while you were there?
Hell no. Might as well fucking film a TikTok over there while I'm fucking at it. I feel so bad for those dudes.
Oh,
have you seen weird tangent? Have you seen like the prices they offer for fucking TCG cards? They have to actually be minted and everything, and they scan the barcode. And I think they won't give you cash for anything above like $200. So if you bring in a $500 card, you can get $400 in-store credit or like $300 cash.
I mean, that wouldn't be that bad depending on if you just want to buy more cards.
Yeah.
Depends on what you want, but also like the fact that you have a retailer that's going to buy your product versus having to go through and find an idiot to send you money and trust them enough. Like, it's a little, I mean, yeah, you pay for the convenience.
Yeah.
But also, why the fuck are they buying Pokemon cards now?
Who fucking knows, dude? GameStop's going fucking goddamn down the hill. I'm legitimately waiting for the day where they're like, yep, GameStop's bankrupt. We're closing all the stores down, blah, blah, blah.
It's going to happen, and when it does happen, it's going to be instantaneous.
If we just do a little bit of everything, credit cards, old consoles, trading cards, we can't die.
No, you loved GameStop at one time. I really did, and I just...
I mean, did you love it because it was iconic and great, or because it was like one of maybe 2 or 3 options that weren't like other just retail stores? Like,
No.
I mean, it's because there were 1 or 2 or 3 options, but they had stuff, and I enjoyed it.
No, I agree with Mike. There's some GameStop documentary that we've talked about where they're like, oh yeah, the heyday of GameStop was like the PS3 360.
Well, that wasn't a documentary for me. That was just people the company I used to work for, a bunch of people came over who were GameStop managers, and one was a regional manager. And sometimes they would talk about stuff, and like the store manager told me about, like, they used to go to conventions and they would just give you like free statues and stuff because they didn't want to ship them back during the 360 era. They said it was just great working there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just the video game market evolved into digital. And I mean, again, that was my issue with this game because I had to download the multiplayer separately and I didn't want to waste 50 gigs. And their whole business model fell apart because of that. I mean, I get it. I just makes me sad because I loved going to game stores, and it's not a thing anymore, really, for me. Like, I do go in GameStop. If I go to the Mall of America, I go into GameStop, but I don't usually buy anything but a Funko Pop, maybe. So,
I mean, if you want to talk about it, like, what is it? Comparing it with this, like, people love going to GameStop for like the midnight releases of all the Black Ops and everything. So, like, yeah, like that was heyday back then. Everyone loved it, and you met people. I'm pretty sure everyone fucking stunk because it was like a bunch of gross dude bros coming in to buy Call of Duty. But
I always showered before I went to anything like that. Anytime I'm gonna be around people, I'm gonna shower first, especially when I'm gonna be close to people. Like, I don't want to.
No, I try to do some of the midnight releases now, and what is it? I think the last one I did was like the last Pokemon game, and that one I could be like, oh yeah, a couple of these people here are fucking freaks, just a couple.
The last midnight release game I did, I think, was Arkham City. Pretty sure. No, it wasn't Arkham City. Maybe Arkham Knight. Maybe might have been Arkham Knight, and I was done after that. But I also don't buy new games, so there's that too. All right, let's give away a code. You can get, because I've been doing this off and on these last couple episodes, but I want to get rid of this old set. The Walking Dead Final Season. So the code for that is, this is a Steam code, MI9N2-7ACC2G8CGT. That is the Steam code for Walking Dead The Final Season.
And if you download it, please mention it to Mike so we can finish the series. But even then, I don't want to be depressed for like a week.
I mean, it's going to happen just because, like, it doesn't have to, but I should do it. But
yeah,
I just don't want to play them.
Yeah, they're depressing.
But eventually I'll run out of other horror games that I want to do, and they'll get worked in the schedule. Yeah, it's not. I mean, there are certain games that I just have no interest in playing. Walking Dead Season 2, Dead Rising 2. Like, there's just some that I just no interest in. She has nothing to say.
She has nothing to say.
Sorry, I was very heavily invested in New Life is Strange Max Caulfield. I was blown away, breathing. What were we saying?
I just insulted something of yours that you love.
Dead Rising? Of course. What else
How'd you know?
What else would it be, Mike? There's only so many things I love and you hate that are publicly acknowledged and talked about on this podcast. There's really one. And it's God damn it.
Yes, there's only one. I don't think there's a game series that we have talked about that you love and I just don't like.
A game series? Mike, you played one. There's a game I love and you don't like.
What?
Dead Rising 1. You can't say the series, you've only played one. Now if you
I mean like series in general, like game series. I can't think of any other ones that you love that I'm just not a fan of. Mm-hmm. I don't know about, essentially. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to Shelf Stacker Box. Let's wrap this up. And Joe, why don't you go first?
Funny enough, I had a lot of fun playing this, but I don't think I would put it on the shelf, mainly because I don't think I would ever fucking play this again. So I would probably put it on the stack because I'm not going to lie, I had a great time playing it. Probably doesn't help that I was lightly stoned the whole time.
I think that helped.
Yeah, it did help because
I don't think it hurt. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's nothing like a full offense to playing like Call of Duty games. This is the way you should play it, which is just sitting on your couch, on your TV that may or may not kill you, on your PS5 with your controller, lightly stoned, and I have these really cute, like they're supposed to be like retro earphones, like the ones like Star-Lord's wear, but they're Bluetooth. And I'm just blasting like heavy metal music, playing the whole time, and I'm like, yeah, I'm having a good time. This is a good time.
Yeah, that's
okay. You played it right. I played it on mouse and keyboard. I'll go next. I played this on mouse and keyboard, and it's just, and normally I like that for shooters, but this didn't work with my laptop screen, and it was just like the game was kind of darkish, and I don't know. I just wasn't into it. I was going to stack. I didn't hate it. I didn't like when I died sometime, but a lot of those were my fault. But the game was fine. I think I just wasn't. This isn't the Call of Duty that really grabs me, but going to stack.
I Same.
What about you, Milk?
I played it just randomly. I played it as on a controller on PC. Like, kids probably mostly played it back then just with a controller. And I, had a few glitches. But even though I loved it, I think ultimately the parts I really would want to make me play it more just don't exist. So unless fucking Microsoft decides to put on Game Pass and bring all the servers back up and this game gets a resurgence, I think I'm going to put it in a box. And then if I really want, I can go dig it back out and do it again. But until then, yeah, I don't have it. After I finish it, I don't think I'm going to be like, oh, I want to play this again someday. I'm like, no, there's other ones. It was cool, though.
Okay.
I'm
glad that we all had roughly the same experience.
It's just about how much you liked it or not. Yeah, just go watch Kevin Spacey documentary. That's really the big takeaway from this.
You should. It'll make you hate this game more, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to retro change my option because I can. I'm putting it in a box with Milk. Fuck it. So,
then we on Game Pass, we can both take it out of the box together and play one round of zombies.
I don't even have an Xbox. I have an Xbox. No, I don't even have an Xbox One. What am I talking about? Game Pass. I don't even own my Xbox One is brick.
It's on PC. You can. Listen, we don't need to do this.
Okay, I do have PC. Obviously. I kind of want an Xbox Series X because my wife bought me a PS5, and I'm like, well, I don't need two of these, so we'll just stick with the PS5. I just want a new PC is honestly what I plan on buying in the future. I love PC gaming. Oh, and I should announce what we're talking about next week. Next week, you can hear us, two of us, and more people, talk about Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks for DS.
Spirit Tracks for 3.
Oh, Joe! No.
So stay tuned for that next week. Mm-hmm. And Milk, where can they find you?
You can find me definitely on Twitch at SpaceGoCutie. I'm usually actually more commonly on other people's streams, but the streams I'm most commonly on will be that. And now, for the first time ever, I can say I'm on Twitter. Not X, Twitter, because fucking Musk is fucking weird mecha military corp in this alternate universe. Yeah, it's SpaceGoCutie. So if I'm usually, that's where I post any updates if I'm streaming, but not like on my channel. I'll be there.
Okay. And if you enjoyed this episode, you will see our other Call of Duty stuff that we've done, which is just Modern Warfare, in the show notes. So if you want to go quick links to those, definitely go check those out. The first one got a ton of love, then the rest did not. First one had over 1,000 downloads, and the other two did not have anywhere near that. So that tells you what people think of the series too. So when it came to wanting to hear our thoughts.
Yeah, I think it has much less to do with us than the game.
No, I know. I had nothing to do with it. Yeah. I mean, I just thought it was funny that it had that big. I mean, that's why we did the other two. I was like, okay, cool. Let's see what happened. Well, and I just wanted to finish the trilogy. But if you want to go hear more,
Black Ops, it'll pop back up. Watch it. Be like, Black Ops.
I know. That's why I'm excited to do Black Ops too. So fun. And I get to play games I never played before, so there's that too. Oh, and if you want to, we do over 600 episodes on Podbean. You can find everything we do. Definitely go check all of that out. We do movies, comics, TV shows, video games, all sorts of content. Go check out our huge catalog. If you want to support the show, we do a Patreon. Will's Dog, vote in our Patreon poll. We have one every month. It supports the show. You get to affect the show. So, yeah, go do that. It makes me happy, too. And join our Discord. That's free. We're always having new people join us, chat with us. You can suggest things. We're just happy to have new people to join. Even if you want to be a lurker, just join and be a lurker. I don't care. Just join. So, it's free. And want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Hasfer. You can follow her on TikTok, Twitch, Instagram. You'll see a link to her link tree. When you saw to a Gamer Looks at 40 of Bill Tucker, definitely go support his show. Check him out. Just some great video game content. And Nomad's Fantasy, Nerds Abroad, another podcast that Phoebe had started. Go check her out. I think it's Nerds Abroadcast. Something like that. I can't remember.
I think you're right. It's not a broadcast.
Okay. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, YouTube, audio only. Find and rate and reviews wherever you get your podcast. Always appreciate it. I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.